Hi, Jeff Rhodes here with another video on Microsoft 365, and today I wanted to try out the new Vibe Power Apps. And if you haven't heard of that, I highly recommend watching Reza's video here about the new one that just came out with this Vibe coding, and he's got a couple other ones. And also Shane Young, who I've watched his videos for years, so he has a new one as well. So check that out. And for this one, we're just gonna try it out. So just to kind of look at normal Power Apps here, it's at make.powerapps.com if you're in the commercial space like I am here. Of course, if you're in government or whatever, you have a slightly different URL. And what the new announcement is a new URL called vibe.powerapps.com. And I literally haven't tried this at all. And you'll see when you first go to it, you get this try another environment. And what that means is because this is all Dataverse, so I'm going to have us build the blood pressure app that I've done both in Power Apps and Power BI, but also did it with the agents, and we're going to try it again here. But this one, since it's all Dataverse, it won't work in the default environment. So what you have to do is try a different one. So that's my default is Black Canyon, so I'm just going to try videos here. And there we go. So we get, and notice that you get a big screen. So again, I haven't tried it yet, but I did write a description. So we'll see how this works. So I said build an application where I can put in the systolic and diastolic blood pressure. The systolic's the higher one, like 120, and diastolic's a lower number. It needs to default to the current date and time, but I need to be able to select a different date and or time. There also needs to have an option to add notes. Show a visualization of past readings and flag any that have a systolic pressure greater than 120 or a diastolic pressure of over 80. So let's see about that. So I'm going to come back over and paste that in. And what we're expecting is for it to do these different agents. And if I remember from when I've watched on the videos, you can kind of see the agents going here. So we've got a requirements agent, we've got a data agent, a code agent, and a solution agent. So we'll just kind of let those go. And apparently these take a little bit of time. So if it's starting to take too long, let me know. But you can see it's building our data model here. Oh, it's starting to build us code and stuff. So we'll have to go back there. But in that data model, oh yeah, here we go. Let's go back to the data. Kind of makes sense. So we have a user table, and then each user can have a multiple blood pressures. So you'd expect a one-to-many relationship with the primary key being username. So that makes sense. And not sure what this reading name's doing, but we got systolic pressure as a number, diastolic pressure, the date and time, and notes. And it looks like they're trying to do the flag bit is actually store that into the model. When I did that, I did it with Power BI and flagged it there and didn't do anything when I saved it in SharePoint. But let's go look at the plan, because you can edit this plan. So it starts saying that the user is going to change the date and time, view a visual trend, and it now gave a role of a healthcare professional, which is kind of cool. So the idea being that they could look at the history and see if the blood pressure medicine is either needed or needs to be increased, something like that. Then the data model, and then technologies. So one thing I learned from watching the other videos is all it's going to do is build this app, but this is kind of suggesting other things as well. Not sure I see this 404 not found there, so it sounds like it may be having a little trouble, but in any event, these are some flows, and it makes sense. What I actually have on my current solution is a monthly flow that gives me all the blood pressure readings for the previous month. But I can see what it looks like they want to have one that whenever it gets out of whack, it'll send some sort of notification. and an agent for healthcare, kind of if we could send it to the doctor automatically. All right, let's go look at see what it's done. It says the app is ready. So I haven't had to pause it or anything yet. It looks like it's trying to load it on the right side here. So let's see what it does. All right, well, that's pretty cool. So let's see. So this is recent reading. So that's kind of nice. I can add a reading here. See, it put some sample data in it. So there's sample and it shows normal. And this one's flagged where both of them are off. This one's off. So I don't have one where one's off and one's another. So we'll have to try that when we're doing it. It's got flagged, got some, let's see what this view insights does. Here, let me get rid of that for a minute. It kind of shows my readings over time, so that's kind of cool. Let's go in. Let's see if I can put a new reading in. Okay, let's see. Looks like this, even though I asked for it to be myself, looks like it did it for just one user. I mean, for multiple users. So, you know, we could have some things where maybe people don't want to see each other's blood pressure reading there, but I haven't quite figured out. Oh yeah, here's the date and time. So looks like I can. That's one of my requirements, is if I wanted to say I did it this morning at 7:41 a.m. I could, oh, there it went, 6:41, but I could change it there, so that's good. Not quite sure yet where to put there's the notes. Haven't seen where to put the numbers in yet. I'll find it. Here are some notes. Okay, let's see. Oh, here we go, right there. Okay, and it defaulted to 120/80, which is exactly what I did on mine as well. So I'm going to say 115, and let's put 85 here to see if it gets flagged with just one of them. And I'm going to save reading. Okay. And let's see what this log reading did, or let's do trend insights. Oh yeah, notice these can tell the sample data. They say reading, and this one says BP date, but it looks like it didn't work right, because this should be high since I had the diastolic high. So let's go over to the agent and tell it that that's not flagging. I submitted a reading of 115/85, but it was listed as normal and not flagged or not high. Should read high if either systolic or diastolic are high. See if it can fix it now. Okay, working on your request. They're locating the right logic, updating the logic. They're going to fix the UI, so that's kind of nice here. While we're waiting on that, one of the things you wanted to point out is this is doing React code. So it reminds me a bit back in the day we used to do ASP.NET applications or HTML5, doing them in Visual Studio. That's this kind of deal. You can see the React and so forth. So I'm a bit out of practice myself, so I'm hoping this is going to take care of it for us. But there's a way, and what's nice is if you're doing professional development, you can go in and edit this directly. So that's kind of cool. You can go back to the thing, hasn't quite updated yet. It doesn't say yet, but that's kind of cool. Let's look at this there. I can see a split view, and you can literally go in and edit the code directly here. So that's a really nice upgrade. It's not like regular Power Apps. You can go back in and change it other than through the interface. You can't go under the covers and start updating the code and so forth. So that's pretty cool. And then what I haven't done here is I haven't saved it and so forth. So you want to actually, when you're ready, entirely sure. Oh yeah, so I'll have to save it over here. I think because it's doing changes right now, I can't save it. And then let's talk while we're waiting for this to go. So for this particular use case, I really wouldn't want to use the vibe coding because I've got a licensing thing. You know, I've got, unless the users already have a Power Apps license in some way that covers the Dataverse, then I'd end up, you know, costing money to run this app. So, and it's relatively low number of records and so forth. So a SharePoint data source would actually work just fine. But if you're going to be using Dataverse anyway, with all of its, you know, ability to scale up and so forth, this would be perfect. All right, so let's go back in. So I got 4 readings. There we go. So now I've got it as high. So let's go back to the thing, see if there's anything else we wanted to do. So pretty darn cool. I must say I'm pretty impressed to put a nice little stethoscope graphic, and pretty nice user interface when they're still kind of saying that I'm going to give it a thumbs up so it knows that I like this. Anyway, so I can click in and log a new reading, come in, let's say I'm doing well, I'm going to say 110 over 68, and I'll let it default to the current time, and I'll say after run, and I'll save. And then we'd have to figure out exactly how to get that out of, you know, get rid of our old data and so forth. We could tell the agent to do it, or we could go into Dataverse directly, I think, and come in and look at the data. So we could add our own tables. We could come in and create more relationships if we wanted to, that kind of thing. So I can save this, and that's what's going to actually move it over to the environment. So I'm going to pause for a second because I'm not quite sure how long this save takes. Oh, it only took about 45 seconds, and now it's saved it here. And like I said, still, this literally is the first time I've used it, so I don't know a ton else that I want to try, but looks like I can give feedback. I've got some settings. See what the session details, I guess, just give us some of the categories and so forth. And I know there's a way that I can share it and so forth, but I'm not quite sure yet. So as I learn more, we'll come back to this, but I'm pretty impressed, and I think it actually did a pretty nice job, a very functional app that got it working pretty quickly. So hope this is a bit of use to you, and I will look forward to seeing you in the next video.